Not everybody wants to do the work. I know that every time I have that kind of teacher, I just dread the class even more. Okay, hi everyone. If you know, you know, it's your girl Shay Shay, aka MC Duchess, and welcome back to my digital diary.
Okay, let's go.
Today we're unfiltered. Okay, I thought that I would do a little talk realistically because we're all getting into late teens, or we're like in the middle of teenagehood, and I just wanted to talk about challenges and different things we go through, but be realistic about what I've gone through or what my opinion on everything is. Your opinion may be different to me depending on some of the things I'm talking about. Let's get into it. This is going to be so good. So I have a pile of questions, so I'm going to go through that now. How do you deal with group project freeloaders without committing a felony? Just know that these are AI questions that I just like put together so I can answer for you guys. But basically it's asking like what to do when you're in a group project and some people aren't holding their load. I know that for starters, I normally am in a friend group kind of group project, and to me that's the best thing, because personally I wouldn't tell you to get in a group with your friends unless you really know they're going to put in the work. When I'm in a group with my friends, I know that all of us are going to put in the work, and if somebody's down, we're going to help them. Like, it's going to be cool. But sometimes you get that odd teacher that just letting you into their own group and you don't have to pick your groups. And sometimes not everybody wants to do the work. Most of the time there's nothing really you can do. The only thing to try is include the person but don't exclude them at the same time. Tell the teacher, of course, because that's what we always do, tell the teacher. And sometimes they tell you that it's good that you tell them so they wouldn't give them a mark, or they would talk to them about it before the project is over. But honestly, sometimes you just gotta move forward with or without them. It doesn't stop your project just because one or two persons does not do it. If it's all on you on another situation, go and tell the teacher straight away, because that's not what you. What's your actual study routine when you're running on 3 hours of sleep and pure panic? Okay, I guess this is like the night before the exam. If you're only 3 hours only have 3 hours to sleep and you're panicking. When I'm in that situation, I like to go on YouTube and I do like a whole like summary. Like they have those summary videos of certain subjects and topic matters, so I normally watch those and I test myself. Like, one thing to do is don't just watch the videos and say goodbye, I got it. No, actually go over the videos. Sometimes videos are like 1 hour, 2 hours, so I hope you got your chickens in a clutch, because what I like to do is I like to go over those summary videos and then I just keep testing myself until I could just think about it and I can explain it to myself. So that's what I do if I'm just like in a little time scrunch. How do you personally handle teachers who have a personal vendetta against teenagers? Oh, I've had a share of teachers who have a personal vendetta against me almost my whole school life. Not all of them, but some of them, and it's tough. The last thing I will tell you is to suck up with them, because I am a person who has never ever thought about sucking up to a teacher. If they have a personal vendetta against them, you're sometimes not in the wrong. I don't know if there's a situation if you're in the wrong. Look at yourself first and see if it's your behavior in class. But if they just have a vendetta against you for nothing, then all I can tell you is make sure to tell your parents and talk to your parents about it, because sometimes they see a bigger picture than you do. Make sure you're communicating with your teacher, your head teacher. Actually, this vendetta might be against your homeroom teacher too, but just keep in contact and let the people who are around you know what's going on, so that if something major happens, you have people around you who can say she has been or he has been complaining about this for a while. But honestly, teachers with vendetta is the worst thing ever, because I know that every time I have that kind of teacher, I just dread the class even more. Sometimes I don't know why they have vendetta against students. It's just like, we're here to learn. Just start moving forward. And one thing I can always tell you, be yourself no matter what. Don't let these teachers with vendetta like make you smaller or bully you or anything like that, because at the end of the day, they don't have to be you, you have to be you. So make sure that you always be yourself no matter what. Ooh, we're getting spicy first. But honestly, teachers with personal vendetta is always got me. The end of the day, sometimes children do suffer from emotional pain from it and think that they're unworthy. And why does this teacher like me but somebody else they like more than me, and I feel like we're doing the exact same thing. Sometimes we have to realize that we're all humans, and they might dislike us for no reason in particular, just seeing us and they did not like us. So I wouldn't take it personally. I would just move forward with it. because at the end of the day, they're not going to be in your life forever. Just not hold your head down. Just try and take in as much information, because I know especially when the teacher has a personal identity, they treat you differently. So sometimes that impacts your learning in their class and your understanding, because you can't go to them for help, because you feel like every time you go to them for help, they're gonna act like you're slow, or they're not gonna explain it as well as if it was somebody they actually like. But just hold down, make sure that you're doing your own learning outside of school too, because sometimes that's what you have to do in these situations, because it's really hard. But all I can say is stay strong and keep moving through it. How do you balance making content creation across platforms while everyone around you thinks you're just staring at your phone all day? Oh my god, I remember I had somebody tell me that my phone overheated because I'm just on my phone all the time watching TikTok. And while that may be true, I like to see watching TikTok as content research, because I'm always, as well as I'm looking at people, I'm always looking at what catches my attention, so I know what I can do to move forward with my content and get more people attraction onto what I'm doing. Like for instance, recently I've been paying more attention to what I'm watching on social media and how different content creators do their content and what makes them unique to themselves. And I know different things that make me unique to myself, like my personality. So I realized that more content with my personality in it, which is my voice, which you hear like voiceovers, and when I'm talking to the camera, they gain more content than if I'm just doing videos and I just put a song over it. And also, if I do lip syncs, I know that gets some kind of traction, because I don't do lip sync like I do my own thing, because I'm extra, so I'd be like, oh yeah. So adding your personality to everything, I think, is something that I do, and that's why people think that I'm always on my phone. Well, I'm not really a big Instagram person, so it's just content research. But sometimes they're just staring at your phone. I'm not afraid to admit it. Sometimes I'm just staring at my phone, like slide, and I'm like having other thoughts in my head, because I'm thinking about what content I have to edit and how much content I have left to post. So just be thoughts going through my head at the same time. And the other part was, how do I balance making content creation across platform? Well, okay, first and foremost, YouTube is the only platform that my long form content is different to every other platform. If you don't realize, I find that content creators these days post one short form video across all their platforms, and I've been doing that from the start, because I realized I couldn't handle doing one social media platform and another one posting two different videos on those platforms. Plus, sometimes what I realize is one video that might not do good on one platform but do good on another one, so it's basically beneficial to post that content across all your platforms. So I think that gives a great load off of me, because I post the same content across all my platforms, so I have different audiences across my platform. Plus, like how I'm not an Instagram person and I'm more of a TikTok person, some people do not like TikTok and just majority are on Instagram, so they might not see my content on TikTok, but they might come across the video that I post on TikTok on Instagram, and that's where they start to follow me from. So I think balancing it was just realizing that I have to step back from posting different content and start posting the same content across all platforms. And remember, that's just one video, so all I have to do, and it's the same captions, so I don't really work that hard in the end. What's the biggest misconception people have about being a teen in the Caribbean? Oh my gosh, I feel like people feel like because we're in the Caribbean, after school we just go to the beach and hang out, and we're like always at the beach, or we're always like hanging out. Well, being a Caribbean teen is so different, because your family always has high expectations for you. So you're mostly after school going home to study, finish up your homework, and get ready for the next day, because school time is just bang, 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 bang. Maybe on the weekends some people might go to the beach, but we don't always go to the beach after school. That's like once in a blue moon. I haven't even been to the beach after school before. I've just went straight home. So I think that's a big misconception people have about us. But we're very hard workers and very studious, because we have a lot going on at school, so we just try to get our work done. Because if you don't know, in some schools people have tests like almost every week for every subject, and we do like 12-14 subjects a year. Let's just say that's a lot of work on one child, so we have to be on top of our work all the time. Thinking of us as slacking really kind of weird, but I think people feel because we're on Caribbean island, life is just much more playful than like other countries, but that's not true. We work just as hard. I will find that's why we party so hard when vacation and summer and Christmas and spring break happens, because we don't get spring break, sorry, Easter, when those vacation happens, because that's just one of these times. But honestly, Easter, we don't really party hard for Easter. Like, we celebrate a little bit, but most of Easter is planned as study vacation, because that's when exams are starting. Just like after Easter vacation, the first week, some of us have exams, so that's not really a vacation to us. But yeah, that's just a little misconception that people have about Caribbean tea. But we're all different, because some islands may be different from my island, which is Barbados. I guess it's to each their own again. How do you deal with the cringe of looking back at content you made 6 months ago? Okay, this is a little note to self. Don't look at it. Honestly, sometimes I look at content, I'm like, oh, she ate down. And sometimes I look at content and I'm like, that is so cringe. Why did I ever think of posting that? But then I look at the content now and I'm like, if I didn't post that, I wouldn't be where I am right now. Because at the end of the day, you have to remember that you're always growing. And I have to put that in my mind every time I see a cringe video. Like, you had to do that because you had to grow. So every time I look back at a video and it was cringe one moment, I'm like, well, I'm better now. I am growing and I'm growing. It's cringe back then because I had to do it so I could grow into the content that I was making now. So different things like that, I've definitely put it into my mindset. Although it was cringe 6 months ago, at that time it was actually blowing up. I think everything happens in stages. So maybe looking back at your content may be cringe, but also remember that the content you're making now is much better. So you're gonna look back at that same content 6 months from now and think about why would you post that. So that's what I'm always gonna think. I'm gonna look back at this content right now and think about why did I post this. In life, that's just what happens. You look back at it and say, why did I make that decision? But in the end, that decision is what made you get to where you are right now. What's a boundary you had to set with friends this year? A boundary I had to set with my friends this year, I blocked some people this year. I've stopped talking to people this year. I've also made new friends this year. But I'm not letting anybody spoil my peace. If I feel like you've disrespected me in some way, or you're just not taking me serious in my personal space, and feel like you can just talk to me when you want and not talk to me when you don't want, like I get that people do not talk to each other all the time, but at the same time, I'm not going to put in effort that I do not see you putting in this friendship. So one boundary I have is I'm protecting my peace. So if you're disrupting my peace, you're gonna block and delete. If you don't know me, all my friends know this, my favorite saying is block and delete. If that person isn't being in your peace, block and delete. So that's one boundary I put in my friend group this year. I don't stress myself. Like, if you don't talk to me, I won't talk to you either. Like, if you're really important, I would talk to you and I would check on you. But if after a while I just realize that I'm always checking up on you and you're not even looking at me, you have a problem. You're getting blocked and delete. Fear. How do you hype yourself up when your motivation is buried 6 feet under? Ooh, that's a good one. I find that I'm always in self-doubt, and sometimes I'm way deep into self-doubt. Honestly, hate don't get to me. It don't really get to me like that. Sometimes it pops up in my mind, but it's not really that hate affects my motivation, but it's me myself. Because I would look at other content creators and I would just be like, that person grew faster than me, but also that person is better at captivating people's interests. Just day-to-day stuff, and it gets me stressed out and I get into my feelings a little bit because I get overstimulated very easily, which is kind of funny. And I overthink a lot, so I get into all the possible scenarios of how this could just turn back and backlash on me. So trust and believe, if I made a decision, just know that I've had all these scenarios played out in my mind and all the bad places it can go in my mind. But one thing that helps to motivate me, even though I have all that self-doubt, is what if I didn't do it? How would I feel? What if I didn't do it? I always tell myself. And in the end, this year, with the goal of prioritizing my peace, so if I didn't post that content, I know I would be so mad at myself, because I would be like, what that content could have been would have been so great. And it would just be in my head spinning around like, but you love that content so much, you loved to do it, you loved to film it, why would you not show the world what you poured your heart into? So every content I do, just know that I loved filming it and I put my heart into every second of it. Because I find that these days I don't really post that much in my life. Like, if it's something I'm not reaching for my phone to grab, I won't film it. That's for sure. I would just keep it for myself. So one thing I do is what I post is what I really wanted to film and what I wanted the world to see. So that's my motivation. I do not ever want to look at myself and say, what if I posted that video, what would it been like? No, I posted it, I saw how it was. Even if it did bad, I'm just like happy that I did it, so I don't even have to think about what if. Ooh, what's one piece of advice an older person gave you that you are actively ignoring? Ooh, guys, y'all gonna get me in trouble with my elders. Well, ChatGPT go and get me in trouble with my elders. But what's one piece of advice I completely ignore? I don't know, because a lot of my elders give me really sound advice. So what's one piece? Probably social media itself. When it was first getting started, some people were like, why would you do that? That's completely exposing yourself to the world. I know some of my older folks were like that, but maybe that's one thing. Like, just social media, I still went and did it either way, because as I told you before, I never want to be like, what if? Maybe that's one thing I completely and I'm actively ignoring, that social media. But I think one thing that always got me to actively ignore it is that my grandmother would tell me that, you know, you did social media, and if you gotta do social media, you gotta have a strong heart, you gotta be tough, because when them haters come, you can't be bowing down to nobody. So that's why I keep fighting and actively ignoring it, because I'm strong and I'm not letting nobody stop me from what I want to do, and I never will. So that's one thing that I actively ignore, that social media would be strongly impacting me. But I love social media, and I love that I've had such a positive impact on the youth of the Caribbean as well, those who watch me, because I just want to show that although we live in the Caribbean, there's so much more opportunities for us, and we don't have to limit ourselves just because we're in the Caribbean. There's so many things we can do, there's so many things we can explore, and there's a vast world out there for us to explore and to dive into. And I feel like sometimes because we're in the Caribbean, we limit ourselves, and I don't ever want a teen to feel like we can limit ourselves, or we're supposed to limit ourselves. So that's one of the things I love, that I can inspire people on my account. So I actively ignore those older folks' comments about me starting social media. How do you actually tell the difference between being lazy and being completely burnt out from school and trying to build something on the side? Oh, this is actually very, 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 very detailed. And I know when I'm being lazy, because I just know that I do not want to do anything, and I know that I'm stalling on stuff. When I'm being lazy, I normally stall on something. Like, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna like, give me 5 more minutes, give me 5 more minutes, give me 5 more minutes, and I just keep adding on time. But the difference between being burnt out is that I am completely overwhelmed and my head isn't thinking straight. Like, I literally cannot think about something without starting to like just have a headache. It's really bad when I'm burnt out, because I am so overstimulated. So many things are going through my mind. I cannot focus on one thing because I just have so many things to do that my head is like, I need to work on this, I need to work on that. So I think being lazy is stalling, while being burnt out is having too much things to do and I'm just overstimulated and I cannot work anymore. And most of the time when I'm really burnt out, I drop straight to sleep after my brain is working like 75 miles per hour. That's too many things are going on. So I think my brain just shuts off and I go to sleep. I just knock out in the weirdest positions too. And trying to build something on the side, as I always say, trying to build something at the side is mostly the hardest thing while you're actively being in school. And you have assignments, you have teachers wanting you to do certain things by certain times, and you know every teacher wants their work to come first. So that's something that I had to deal with in third or fourth form, one of those. And I learned that I had to see which one was the priority at the time. And most of the time it was school to me, because content creation I can always come back to, but school is a once in a life experience. So I really just wanted to be in it. I know some people would say they were more prioritized social media, but to me, school at the time was more important. And this year, I was getting ready for CSCs, and best for sure, I was coming up. My social media account was rising at the same time. So priorities was my school. I was social media at the same time, but I was more putting school first before social media. And whenever I had free time, I would use our free time to edit. So I didn't really have any downtime if you really think about it, because I was pushing both. But at the same time, I did burn out a lot this year, I found. So I was trying to prioritize me calming myself down and me finding my own peace. So if I got a little overstimulated, I was just like rest and start again. Because I was just trying to manage both of them at the same time while not letting anything falter. And then like certain things were going on at school that just had me in tizzies. So it's all about your priorities and what you think is more important to you, because what's important to me won't be important to you, and what's important to you wouldn't be important to somebody else. So it's just about building something on the side, and sometimes you have to put it on the back burner and sometimes you have to put it on the front burner. Like this summer, that was on the front burner and it really benefited me. What's your physical word to say that tells you you need to step away from your phone and your to-do list before you combust? I think I just talked about this, but my physical sign is that I found, first let me start on social media. When I'm on social media too long and I know that my brain is just like, no, I swipe on everything and I do not process it. And I know when I do not process information that people are saying in the videos and different things, so I'm like off of that. What do I do next? As I always say, I go to sleep, or I just like go and do something that's not on the phone. Like recently this summer I've been on arts and crafts, and sometimes I would just watch YouTube or something when I'm doing those arts and crafts, and suddenly I would just realize I'm not processing it, and I'm just like, my head is like, no I'm not. So I would just press pause on the video, and it would be like, I need to focus completely on what I'm doing. So just do the arts and crafts in peace and quiet. So I think it's just know yourself at the end of the day. That's my physical warning signs for that. And to come off of my to-do list, I would say getting overstimulated. I get overstimulated at everything, and that's what I need to know. I need to step back, because when I get overstimulated, like my head starts to hurt, I start to feel dizzy. It's just a lot because my head is doing so much, and I just need to step away, sit down, drink some water, cool down, and then start over. So that's my physical organization. How do you stop yourself from spiraling when somebody else on your feed seems to have their entire life and aesthetic and career figured out at 16? This is me at 13 days. Everybody used to have their whole lives figured out, and I realized that people my age have businesses, had a strong social media platform, we're making consistent money, we're investing, we're doing all sorts of things that has them in a stable place financially and career oriented. And I was like, I just wasn't that. I think one thing that helped me from spiraling is that I knew that I wanted to be there someday, and I wanted to be financially stable, and I wanted my career to grow. But I also know that my career was very different to how theirs was. I do want to be a business owner someday, hopefully, and different things like that. But their time was just a lot much sooner than me. Like my social media account started 2 years from 13. Wait, 2 years from 13? Or a year or two, a year and a half probably, from when I were having those thoughts. And I think I started taking steps before I started my social media account because I was a shy person. That's one thing I had to come down to myself about, is that I cannot be a shy person and want all these things. I cannot be shy and want all these things that I saw other people online have at 16, 13. All the businesses, all the stuff that doesn't, all the networking events that they were going to, all the different things they were getting paid for. I was like, I cannot be wanting all of this and be a shy person. So I had to take the steps to first look within myself and be like, I need to work on it. So I got started on a MC training program, started public speaking. That took me places as well. That got me into rooms that I never thought I would be into. It got me some standing in an industry that I never really thought of or seen in a big highlight, and I really grew to appreciate it. And I got to meet some really cool people throughout it, and it started me in a position to get to where I am right now in my career. I am a social media person. I do MC, I public speak, I do all sorts of things. So I think it's about taking the first step. I was spiraling, and I realized, I looked within, I was like, what do I really need to do to help myself get to where I'm at? And I did it. So taking the first step is a definite necessary. Sometimes you may feel, because trust me, my first MC event, I was trembling. I was so scared to mess up because there's a running order of all the official people that are there that you're supposed to say in the order. If you say somebody before somebody that's not supposed to be there, that's not going to end pretty. So I was so scared that something like that was going to happen. But one thing to do is we're all human. We're all going to make mistakes. So I just breathe. The first, I don't know why, but for me, the first thing to say, I always say at every MC event, is always shaky. But once I get into it, like, you cannot stop me. So spiraling is just a step forward once you look at yourself to see what you need to do to get there. I'm not fully where I want myself to be at the end of the road, but I'm walking right there. I'm not even near to the middle of my career yet, guys, but I'm on my way to being there. What do you do when the pressure to keep up at online persona starts draining your actual real life energy? I step away. I step right away. Because when I start to feel myself putting on a persona for online, I'm like, no, this is not you. This is not who you want to be. This is not how you want to present yourself online. Because one thing about me is I always tell myself I want myself to be authentically online. I cannot show you everything in my life. I will never show you everything that's going on in my life. That's one thing I can say for sure. But I want that when I do show it online, what I show you is my true authentic self, my true personality. Who I am is what you see. When I feel like it's draining my energy, I know it's not me. I know that I need to step back, and sometimes I take breaks. And sometimes it would just me drop out for like 2 weeks or a week, and that's because I need to look at myself and I need to say, you're filming too much, you're putting on such a persona. I'm like, this is not you, this is not who you want a account to represent. So I step away. What is a bad coping mechanism? What is a bad coping mechanism? What is a bad coping mechanism? What is a bad coping mechanism that you have had to actively unlearn this year? And two, and I'm going to say two, not giving people second chances. I don't give people second chances. My whole life I've always like, if you've messed up, one, that's the end of it. But this year I was like, I can't be like that because I made mistakes too. I kind of expect a leeway into like proving myself for the second time. So I can't be kind of hypocritical in expecting a second chance myself when I don't give people a second chance themselves. So that's one thing that I've been putting into myself that I don't really put on so fast. So I do give you second chances, but if you're a second chance, I'm not going to give you a third one, because at this point, if you do it the first time, if you do it the second time, you're likely going to do it the third time. So we're not giving anybody third chances, but second chances I'm giving. Another one that I feel like everybody needs to work on, and I've been trying to work on this year, is kind of downplaying my work and talking bad about myself at the same time, because I find that sometimes I don't have that much faith in myself. So I'm just trying to have more faith in myself and not like downplay the work that I've already done, because I find that I just start to downplay what I've accomplished so far, and I've like accomplished a lot for my age, so I'm really proud of myself. I'm trying not to downplay that, but also appreciate myself and say that you've worked hard. You haven't done nothing. You've worked hard. Oh, we are at our last question. Oh, the last question for the day. How do you explain to your friend that you need to ghost everyone for a week without them thinking you hate them? A police siren just passed through. That's so crazy. I actually am an active ghoster. People know that I do not like to text, I do not like to call. Like, I'm a total loner. Like at school, I will be like texting everybody because we have different projects and stuff, so I just need advice, or people need advice from me, so like you would text me and I wouldn't be thinking. But I don't think people ask that much from me, because I'm very straight about what I say, and I don't really nitpick at stuff when I'm with my friends. So one thing I did was I do tell them that if it's something important, do text me on WhatsApp, be it Instagram or TikTok. Let me tell you this one friend I have. I have one friend. Love her to bits. She's my bestest friend. She sends me 1,000 Instagram reels a day, and she knows that if it's something really important that she wants me to look at, she sends it to me on WhatsApp, because I do not look at Instagram reels that much. Like, everybody on my Instagram knows that I do not check those. Everybody knows if it's something important that you want Shalea to see, text it on WhatsApp, or I will not look at it. So that is something. Maybe have your boundaries straight with them about, like, if it's something really important, text it to me on WhatsApp. If it's not important, don't text it to me on WhatsApp. that's something that I have with my friends, because I'm like, I'm not wasting my time like that. And also, if it's a new person that is in your contacts that don't really know what is going on, like your other friends, just speak to them about it and be like, oh, I just wanted to tell you that if it's something important that you need to text me, do text me on WhatsApp, but just know that I don't really read things on WhatsApp unless it's really important. So if you do waste my time, I'm not going to look at it again. I have said that before, and trust me, people get the idea. Sometimes they think, oh, she's just joking. You have to set your boundaries clear. At the end of the day, you have to set your boundaries clear. But anyways, guys, that was it for this unfiltered episode, my raw and in charge answers. I'm very serious about setting boundaries and saying it straight to people. Sometimes in certain situations, life throws curveballs at you. I have had situations that just make me roll my eyes back and forth. But at the end of the day, it's just like having faith in people. And especially for myself who's in social media, I've not had good experiences with people outside of it. But to me, I just feel like at the end of the day, it's about protecting your peace and realizing what's important to you. And social media is very important to me because I really do want to inspire the youth of the Caribbean into thinking that we're not limited by limitations that are invisible limitations. So I think it's just about seeing what's important to you and what you move forward, especially about that one with seeing different people achieve different things at our age. I feel like everybody has a different path that they have to walk of life. My path may be different from yours may be different from mine, but at the end of the day, what you're looking forward to may not be what I'm looking forward to. So your achievements might be so happy for you, but I might not want to achieve them. So protecting your peace in the end is always important, and strive for your goals. Don't let anybody stop you. But anyways, guys, if you know, you know. MC Duchess. Bye, guys. Thanks for being here. Keep it real.